those prosperity ministers think they are, lining their pockets while teaching you to line yours. Are they leading you straight to hell with their promises of health and wealth? Welcome to Boundless Spirituality, where we explore the myths of spiritual practices and otherwise forbidden topics in spirituality to find balance by helping others have an open mind to all spirituality. I am your host, KIMBALEYWILLIAMS. I am here to encourage you to be a boundless spiritualist by marching to the beat of your own spiritual drum. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this with your friends and other free spiritualists who may benefit and would like to get in on the conversation too. If you like manifestation and mindset, check out the Manifest on Purpose Mindset Show at manifestonpurpose.net. I also want you to share your thoughts and your experiences. Join the community at boundlessspirit.net. Oh boy, what did I get myself into today? This is a deep discussion. I must admit to you today, at first, I didn't know how to approach this topic. The research was just so negative. I couldn't find anything that really shed some positive light on the subject. I had a hard time trying to find any credible research that had anything positive to say about the prosperity ministry. I did not know what to do. But my girl never lets me down though. Jeannie, also known as my higher self, helped me shed light on this topic. Okay, I know you were expecting some big revelation from Jeannie. I was expecting the exact same thing. But Jeannie simply said, give your experience. And you know what? That made a lot of sense to me because the true source of all knowledge is within. Did you know that? Before I dive in, I want to know from you, have you ever had a rock bottom moment in your life? One of those periods that seems like chaos in your life. Have you ever experienced that before? Well, that was the space I was in when I was introduced to the prosperity ministry. A relative that was near and dear to my heart and one who went on to be my spiritual teacher saw what I was going through and invited me to her church. It took me a long time to decide to go back to church. I did, but I went in as a boundless spiritualist. I decided to stand by my personal beliefs and only accepted what applied to me. I knew there was something to learn about my circumstances that I would find in that church. And I was right. I was being called to learn faith. The lesson began right away. I didn't even have any clothes suitable enough to wear to church. I think I had maybe one outfit at the time. That was rough for me because I like to have a new outfit for every outing. My spiritual teacher was coaching me faith the whole while. So I was like, well, let me just try this. I began thanking Source for what I want before I got it. Have you ever tried that before? Using gratitude is a game changer, and that's how I like to pray. I like gratitude prayers. Along with her coaching me, I found a station on television that I really got into. It was what I considered a prosperity ministry. I can remember it now. The show was called Camp Meeting, and there was also another one just like it called Inspiration Today with Mike Murdoch. Do you remember him or those shows by any chance? For some reason, I feel that those shows had crossed my paths before. To be honest with you, I started watching just because I liked the music. It was nice music. He had a choir. But aside from that, he taught wealth principles and faith through the scriptures in the Bible. The universe always sends exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. I devoured the information on wealth principles and health. My spiritual teacher was like, if you like this, I have a whole library of CDs that you can borrow. Oh, and I did. I was introduced to other wealth ministers such as Creflo Dollar, Joyce Myers, and Joel Osteen. I didn't just listen to this information, I applied it. Before I even listened to any of these CDs to learn what the prosperity ministry was all about, I just remembered the bad things that I heard growing up about those prosperity ministries and the ministers that belong to them. From the information I heard, there was a lot of negative things to be said about the prosperity ministry. Listening to these CDs, it seemed to me that none of the things that I was hearing from these ministers sounded anything like the negative things I was hearing about them from other people. In fact, the optimism and the principles of faith that I learned changed my life in a huge way. Well, you remember I told you in the beginning that I only had one outfit to wear to church when I first started. Well, after 2 weeks of believing that it would happen for me, my husband was able to take me on a mini shopping spree, and my one outfit went to a whole wardrobe. What's the bottom line here? I saw results. Once I learned what that experience was meant to teach me, I moved on from that church. But what I learned about wealth principles and faith transformed my life. The practice of faith made me a leader in manifestation and mindset. If you're interested, you can hear more on manifestation and mindset on manifestonpurpose.net. Faith and manifestation, same thing, different labels. Oral Roberts, Kenneth Copeland, Kenneth Hagin, Joel Osteen, Reverend Ike, Creflo Dollar, Peter Popoff, Benny Hinn, Tammy Faye Baker. What do all these ministers have in common? All of these ministers are ministers of prosperity theology, aka the prosperity gospel, health and wealth gospel, gospel of success, seed faith, or the prosperity ministry. I just happened to find an interesting article by Andrew Spencer. In this article, Spencer quotes Steve Corbett and Brian Ficker, who define the prosperity gospel as a gospel that teaches God rewards increasing levels of faith with greater amounts of wealth. Spencer lists the characteristics of the prosperity gospel as faith, wealth, and health. The premise is through having faith in God, the person is rewarded with wealth and health. But you know there's 3 sides to every story. Side A, side B, and what we're here for today, the balance. Side A doesn't believe in the prosperity ministry. According to my research, this is a lot of people. The common argument is that the prosperity ministers give false hope to believers, which can lead to unrealistic goals, which can hold the follower back. Well, okay. What does side B say? Side B believes in it and says that it has transformed their life. But here's the balance. My sister and I had an in-depth conversation about this, so we'll listen to that first.
That's pretty much what religion is. At the end of the day, that's why I said it leads back to the same thing. Whether it resonates with you better hearing it from the prosperity gospel perspective or Jehovah's Witness perspective or Muslim perspective or whatever, at the end of the day, the result remains the same. GPS gonna give you 2 or 3 routes sometime, but at the end of the day, you still gonna end up at the same destination. So it's just like
that's just like running up to the store. 3 people going to the same store.
One person might take this way because they feel it's a shortcut. The other person might take this way because, hey, this the way I always been taking. And the other person might say, shoot, I want to see a different view today.
Right.
But they all end up at the same store.
Does your way to get to the store mean that my way to get to the store is wrong? No, because at the end of the day, you still end up at the same destination. What makes my way wrong and your way of going right? I think that we have to start, once we learn to become more open-minded, there's no limit to how far you can go, because you got to be willing to hear everybody out. Because I was able to pick up things from all angles. A lot of the prosperity gospel resonated with me.
Wow, that's a lot to say. It's pretty much saying that the choice of our paths may be different, but the destination is still the same. At the end of the day, everyone is still searching for or seeking the same thing. They're seeking a greater life, a better life. They're seeking evolution. No one thing is absolute to everybody, but there is some truth in everything. For the followers of the prosperity ministry, it's absolute to them. The power of their intent and belief makes it real to them. My question, though, is why would it be wrong to teach someone positive things and things that can help them grow? Some form of faith is a principle in most, not all modalities. It is just expressed in different ways. Faith is faith, no matter how you label it. Faith is no different. It doesn't matter if you are practicing faith in the prosperity or any other ministry or religion. It doesn't matter if you call it manifestation, magic, achieving your goals, or saying inshallah. It's all the same. It's just a different package. Faith is believing in the unknown. How you choose to label it is a personal choice. That should not be held against you. Now that that part is out of the way, let's get to the notion that prosperity ministers are only lining their pockets. Some don't agree that spiritualists should get paid. What's your take on this? This may be another topic to get into a little bit later. Let me know how you feel about the statement that spiritualists are expected by many to serve without pay. Comment below or join the Boundless community at boundlessspirit.net to get in on the conversation. I had to go here because, as stated earlier, some feel that prosperity ministers use this ministry to line their pockets with cash. Cold, hard cash. Let me get this clear. I'll tell a brief story to get to my point. I was in a church meeting and a man walked into the church that no one knew. He told us his story. He was going through some hard times and was hoping that the church could help with a donation. We did. But one member asked, after this gentleman left, they asked the pastor of the church a hypothetical question. She wanted to know, what if this man was actually scamming the church? The pastor of the church replied, that's none of our business. We gave where we felt it was needed. Once you give, it's gone. You never gave from your heart if you worry about what they will do with what you gave them after you give it. There's always a choice. To be honest, those shows I watched did ask for donation. Sometimes persuasion to donate was used. But any donation given was a personal choice. Let's get that clear. There was no one there with their hands in the viewer's wallet taking anything. You have to allow others freedom, a personal choice, and understand that if they made the personal choice to give, it came from their heart, and they really could care less what the recipient does with that gift. That's what a gift is. But who says spiritualists shouldn't get paid for their service? Law enforcement and medical providers provide valuable service to the community. And guess what? They get paid. They heal and protect on a physical level. A spiritualist heals and protects on a soul level. Don't forget, spiritualists live in this physical reality too. This physical reality requires money, cold hard cash. Last time I checked, most spiritual organizations take some type of tithing, they have a tithing system, or they're based on donations. What's done with the collection is a choice the minister or collector has to make. So, what if they want to ride in a personal jet? If the money was given from the heart of the giver, it's between the minister and the creator how the money is spent. The deeper I got into this conversation, the more I discovered that it's the individuals from the outside looking in that are making all of the complaints. Who do you think is right here? Those that believe that the prosperity ministry offers false hope to a community of those struggling in the area of finances and health while lining their own pockets to get rich with no mercy? Perhaps you are a wholehearted believer of the prosperity gospel and has used this doctrine to improve your life. Or maybe you're like me, the boundless spiritualist. Through my own experience, I picked up on some principles in health and wealth that has changed my life. Even though all of the teachings of the prosperity gospel don't resonate with me, I won't throw the baby out with the bathwater here. For those that truly believe in the prosperity ministry, this religion is true to them and leads them to growth. What you believe in makes it true to you. Those who believe in the prosperity ministry, they found their truth. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's their truth. I think there are some important things to learn from this modality. We can all use optimism on this boundless spiritual journey. The believers, the true believers, are not different than you or I. They are simply striving for a better life, not the life that you or anybody else thinks they should have, but a life that's true to them and a life that is truly boundless. Tap in with your respectful, boundless opinions, comments, or thoughts. If you have an experience that you'd like to share here on this show, tap in at boundlessspirit.net. If you have an experience to share about your boundless spiritual path, send me an email at boundlessspirituality@gmail.com. Be sure to tap into next week's conversation. I'll be talking about astrology, fate versus destiny. I love you to life. I'll see you there.